Yeah!
This thing is faster than I thought.
Go top speed!
Doing a little off-roading.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah! That's fun. It's a lot faster than I thought.
Rip it up, top speed! Yeah! Oh my God! That was awesome! The new agenda. The rum is downstairs. Yep, we definitely have voltage there. So I got the mini quad back in the, got the mini Rex back in the garage. Beautiful spring day. And because after I delivered it to Christopher's house, it didn't quite, it just didn't quite work. It ran for a minute and then it stopped working. There's a couple things I figured out about it that were a little messed up. First of all, let me get this on video documentation here. That fuel petcock is in the on position. That is on, this is off, and that is reserve. Now, when I had it over there, I thought that was on or something, or reserve, so I don't know. I might have just run it out of gas over there. Regardless, that's figured out. That's on, off, and reserve. So I might make a little plate for that just so that we don't forget. But what I was just testing right there on a multimeter was to see what kind of voltage we're getting out of the stator on this thing. It has a generator, and what that's used, that's basically it's used to run the ignition and stuff, but it's also used to feed back into the battery so that the battery stays charged. You don't really need the battery to run this. Once it's running, it's good to go, you know. But what I noticed is that the voltage regulator, it has this tiny little voltage regulator, it's only putting out 6 volts. It's not charging the battery. So I think that's part of the problem why it seems like I always need to throw it on the charger, because, well, it's not charging the battery. And that kind of sucks because, again, kid's bike, it's a lot easier to just use the button to start this thing. And, you know, as long as the battery stays charged up, it's not a problem. As a matter of fact, it kicks over real easy, like usually a lot easier than it does to hit the starter button, because there's rarely ever enough juice in the battery. But when you hook it up to a battery charger and get it up to, like, just put it on a trickle 2 amp charge or whatever, so it's like got 14 volts coming out of it, it starts right up. So I'm gonna get a new regulator. The carburetor seems fine. I'm gonna see if that fixes our battery issue, and I'm also gonna see about labeling that plate. It definitely has gas in it right now, and it'll start and run, and I'm gonna do a little bit more testing on it. I think need to do a little bit more testing, and then hopefully we'll get all of these issues straightened out so it just runs good. Yeah, here's a view of the output for the voltage regulator. Let's see if I can get this jammed in here. Yeah, you see it right there. 6 volts, and it varies too. never goes above 7.5. It should be up around, you know, 12, 14 to charge the 12 volt battery. Should be anyway, and it's not. So we'll get a new one. So I'm sitting out here trying to dial this thing in. I've had a real hard time with it, you know. It's like I can get the frickin' screen like every once in a while, and then I need to just change the tune up a little bit, and it's like it won't settle in on a tune. And so ultimately what I did was I was sitting under here watching the air bleed screw. It's that screw right there on the end right there, because that's what you tune the two strokes have like an air bleed, and so you let more air in or you let more air out or let less air in, and that's how you kind of tune these things to rev right. And while I was watching it, I noticed it was like wandering around. I'm like, what the hell? That should not be wandering around, because there should be a spring behind it. Jimbo, you fucked up. I think I forgot to put the spring in behind the air bleed screw. So I'm gonna do that, see if I can get it honed in. Other than that, let's see what else we got here. Look at that, Rastafarian petcock. I'm on reserve right now because I was just trying to figure out, well, am I running out of gas? I know I'm not running out of gas. It's just been a hard thing like nailing down the tune. And so I got that painted green for on, red for off, and yellow for reserve, just so that it's, you know, easy to see. That and the other thing that I forgot to mention before was I put a new spark plug in it, and that definitely works better than the old spark plug that was in there, so that's kind of good. I mean, they both work, but it seems like this one, you know, even it just revs a little bit better and stuff, so it's good. Got James out here testing the quad. Oh, nice.
Let me get a better one for you. Hold on.
Oh, nice. Don't lose it now.
What's up?
Don't lose it now.
I'm trying.
Oh my, that was awesome.
Valve look.
Nice. You know the oil injection's working when there's smoke coming out of it. Seems to be plenty. I've got it running right now. It's just gas in the regular tank and then two-stroke in the little mixed tank. And she is tuned pretty good right now. What do you think, James?
Well, yeah, we were just out here doing it for Dale. Letting her rip tater chip. This thing runs pretty clean. Does some nice wheelies.
Yeah, you did. Tell us about that wheelie technique.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Well, you got like a little, you go and then give it juice and give it a pull and...
Yeah, it's like, it's kind of hard to wheelie this thing because it's so like underpowered, but it's also so small.
Yeah. It's the weight transfer that's all the big deal,
yeah,
right?
Something like that.
But the power feels good?
Oh yeah.
And right now it doesn't seem to be stalling or anything like that. When sometimes it would stall when you let the nose fall back down. It's pretty sturdy. You know, when you bang the front end of it down, sometimes it would stall out after a wheelie. But it is running really good right now that I've got that spring back in the air adjustable or the air needle. That thing just holds a tune, just holds it, and it seems to be running okay. Colleen's testing out the new test and tune.
Dude, it's so much faster.
I know. So what do you think about the new tune on this?
It's a lot faster.
Yeah?
It's so much fun. It's legit, like, it's super speedy. And I feel it, like, you know, shaking me more when I'm sitting on it, too. So good. Next tune.
Cool. Just a real quick little fix to this thing. I was having some, well, the bike was having some issues with the starter. It when you engage the starter button, it would clank like every once in a while, like maybe every rotation of the engine, or maybe every 2 rotations, it would like clank real bad, like clank, and then recatch and, you know, keep working. But it kind of bugged me a little bit, so I took the starter clutch off. There's a little kind of a Sprag style clutch on the starter, and cleaned it up a little bit. I got this, you know, all back together and retightened and everything like that. One of the roller bearings on the Sprag clutch actually came out, and I was kind of, you know, worried I might have to buy a new starter clutch assembly. They're on eBay, but after putting it back together, it seems to work just fine. I've got the spark plug unplugged, so we could just spin her freely. And it is not skipping a beat, so I'm really kind of I'm pleased with that. I cleaned up a lot of the journal surfaces in there, and the bearing, and you know, that sort of stuff. Put some WD-40 in on there on where the roller bearings are. There's got a bunch of needle bearings in this right behind all of this stuff, and it seems to be working just fine. Yep. Just fine. So I'm pretty happy with that. I've got it hooked up to the battery charger right now because I'm still waiting on the voltage regulator, but I figured I'd knock this whole starter problem out while I was waiting on that. And looks like that's working pretty good. Got the new voltage regulator in today, and it doesn't work. It just keeps popping fuses. Anyway, the good news about the whole thing anyway is that I think as long as I don't run other lights and stuff on this system, it probably will be just fine. So I can't go crazy with like neon or anything like that, or LEDs, or, you know, that sort of stuff on this thing. It could have something. The reason this thing is blowing is, it might have something to do with the way that I rewired all of the switches and stuff, maybe. I don't think so, but I mean, who knows? I really don't, I don't know. So, I mean, it blows the fuses even if I have the thing off, not when it's on or anything like that, but just when it's off. So I think there's something else going on with either that is a bad part, or I don't know, but I'm not going to bother with it. The good news is really that it seems to work just fine. The battery will keep a charge, or will hold a charge, it seems like. So, for long enough anyway. Or we were riding this thing around the other day. I had James on it, I had Colleen on it, and I don't know, it seems all right. I put a charge on it while I was doing the starter and fixing that up. So maybe it's just charged right now pretty good, but I don't know. I guess the worst of it is that you might have to throw a charger on it every once in a while, but once it's running, it's fine, So there's that. Yeah. Bart's out on the mini Rex.
Saying 7, 8.
Oh God, I can't Focus, focus. We're gonna try and get James's speed on here.
See who goes the fastest mile an hour.
And see if we can get a mile
Highest
an hour.
one was
thing.
8.
8?
8. Oh.
Oh, he hit 8 miles an hour. That's 11?
12.
I think there's a little lag to it or something.
Yeah, there is. Definitely. 13.
13. Yeah, I think he got it. That 13 is going to be the high on that. That is funny. Nice. Thank you.
Mm.
Awesome. Whoa. Let me zoom out there.
You zoomed
We're
into my face.
we're just James has a couple friends over there.
Got up to 10 again.
They've got a whole track set up. They've got a whole track set up and they're timing each other. Fun stuff, man. This thing is a blast.